What is going on, everyone? Welcome to a late night edition of TTP Sports and also Phillies After Dark. They grab a huge win in this first game of the series against the San Diego Padres, going in there against a very tough opponent and going up there, against one of their best pitchers on the mound in Joe Musgrove. And you find a way to win. You mash home runs after basically early in the ball game where Musgrove is dealing. You really don't have a hit for the first 4 or 5 innings. Eric Hosmer goes deep, so it's 1-0 Padres. They're threatening a little bit. Ranger Suarez gets out of a couple of jams, and you find a way to get the Musgrove. You take him out of the game. You give him his first loss of the season. And like I said, you grab a huge first win in this series. It's a 4-game series. And hey, that's great. JT Realmuto goes deep. That's huge. Where the fuck did that come from, JT? 3-run shot, which just was a huge 6th inning for the Phillies there, scoring 5 runs to put a 6th spot on the board. And Ranger Suarez was really good in this game, honestly. He was very solid. Much needed game from Ranger. And I said this is my last recap too, that Ranger Suarez, I would like to see him go at least 6-7 innings in this game. And he did. He went into the 8th inning. He didn't finish the 8th inning, but he went deep enough into this ball game. 7 1/3 innings. That's really good. That is really good out of Ranger Suarez. And overall, a very solid game by this Phillies team. A very solid win. So before we get into the rest of this, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to TTP Sports. If you are new to the channel, looking for all your latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, I definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button. It's a great or miserable time, depending on the outcome. And if you're a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So get yourself to any upcoming Phillies home game, road trip, whatever you can think of. Definitely don't pass that up. Free $20 in your pocket. Use that for parking, concessions, whatever you can think of. Great deal. Don't pass up on it. Use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So the Phillies get themselves a 6-2 victory in this first game of the series against the San Diego Padres. Phillies are back to 3 games above 500. And basically, I would say one of the major things to take away from this game, besides the home runs, Ranger Suarez. I thought Ranger Suarez was very solid in this game. Much needed performance from him after, really, the past couple of starts for him. He doesn't really go deep into the ball game. Sometimes he gets knocked around early. He's had very few starts where he went at least 5-6 innings. So I would say this is probably one of Ranger's best performances of the season. Honestly, I think one of his other best starts of the season was in Los Angeles. So Ranger on the West Coast this year has been really good. So Ranger Suarez in this game, he goes 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a home run allowed earlier in the ball game to Eric Hosmer on 94 pitches. Overall, very solid. Defense behind him was really good too. Didi Gregorius especially was really good at shortstop, making a lot of hustle plays, just putting a lot of good efforts in there to get some outs over at first base. Nick Castellanos surprisingly had a nice run down in right field. Bryce and Stott had a couple of nice plays. So overall, the defense was much better in this game and really helped out Ranger Suarez. But to start off, the offense was really quiet. Really quiet. And Joe Musgrove was dealing in this game to start off. He was, striking guys out, getting guys to ground out. In the top of the first inning, Rhys Hoskins gets on with a walk. And then you think Bryce Harper, okay, Bryce Harper gets a single. Maybe you have 2 guys on to start off this game against Joe Musgrove. Let's do some damage. No, Bryce Harper hits the single, but then Rhys Hoskins loses track of the ball. He tries to run back to first base because he probably thinks it's going to get caught. No, it hits the ground, and he gets thrown out going to second base. So, one, that takes away the base hit from Bryce Harper, and it turns into a force out. So, a really stupid decision right there from Rhys Hoskins. And then nothing really happens after that. Nick Castellanos eventually grounds out. Phillies, basically, like I said, early in this ball game, really quiet. A lot of 1, 2, 3 innings, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of ground balls. Really, they didn't get their first hit of the ball game, I believe, until the 4th or the 5th inning in this game. So it took a little bit. It definitely took a little bit. Go bottom 2. Eric Hosmer leads it off. Ranger Suarez leaves the curveball hanging right over the lower part of the plate. And Hosmer absolutely destroys this ball into the stands. Gives them 1-0 lead. My God, this ball was crushed. But he settled down, allowed a single next batter, but didn't manage to get out of that situation. There was a fielder's choice, and then there was a double play. The fielder's choice was actually a very nice play by Bryce and Stott to prevent any further damage right there. So defense, like I said, was really good in this ball game. Phillies still going quietly. Then you go to the bottom of the fourth inning. This was more of one of the tough innings for Ranger Suarez. And even though Ranger had a lot of tough innings in this ball game, he still got out of them pretty quickly. The pitch count wasn't really that high midway through this game. So did a really good job getting out of these jams really quickly. The fourth inning was really his most, I would say, dangerous inning, I would say. 1-out single to Jorge Alfaro. Eric Hosmer reaches on an infield single. A little bit of, Ranger Suarez not hustling over the first base to try to get the catch from Rhys Hoskins. Nothing happens there. Then you get a fielder's choice, and then you get a 2-out walk. And then you manage to get a ground out with the bases loaded, 2 outs to end the inning. Really good play from Ranger Suarez, and really good try to get out of that jam, basically. Then you go top 5. Didi Gregorius, with 1 out, gets a single. Then he manages to steal second base on a wild pitch by Joe Musgrove, so that is huge. Odubel Herrera up at the plate, finds a hanging curveball. He was only throwing curveballs this entire at-bat. Finds a way, puts it through the hole on the shortstop side, goes off of Kim's glove and into left field. Didi Gregorius manages to score, and the ball game is tied up at 1. Then the one thing you really like to see from Ranger Suarez the very next half inning goes 1, 2, 3, and it was a very quick inning. Alcantara grounds out, Grisham grounds out, and Austin Nola grounds out. So a very quick inning out of Ranger Suarez. That was something that was desperately needed there. Really, 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 really good. Then you go to this top of the 6th inning, and this is where the rally starts for the Phillies. Huge inning. Bryson Stott leads off with a double, and then Kyle Schwarber. It's just Kyle Schwarber in June. What am I going to say? He hits his 9th bomb of the month of June, and it's his 20th bomb on the season, 2-run shot. Honestly, it barely went over the wall, but still, it's a home run nonetheless. Absolutely crushed it. Becomes a 3-1 Phillies lead just like that. And then the inning continues. Bryce Harper gets a 1-out single. Nick Castellanos gets a single. And then JT Realmuto, a slider that hangs right over the middle of the plate. He doesn't ground into a double play. He doesn't. What does he do? Shoots it to the opposite field, crushes it, goes off the top of the wall and out of the ballpark. 3-run shot for JT Realmuto. Suddenly, it's a 6-1 ball game just like that. And honestly, this is probably Joe Musgrove's worst start of the season. I think the broadcast said this is the first time this year he has allowed more than 2 earned runs in a game. And I think this is his first loss since last season. So, yeah, the Phillies got the Joe Musgrove today, which was really, really nice to see. Really nice. That would be their last runs of the game. Ranger Suarez has another solid bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies go quiet in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th inning for Ranger Suarez. After a leadoff walk, he gets the next guys out. 1, 2, 3 there. Then you go bottom 8. Padres, they try to make some noise. Grisham leads off with an infield single, and it was one of those situations where they shifted, and of course, he chopped one right where the defense was, and so it became an infield single. And then a little bit of a questionable call right here by the umpire. Austin Nola doubles down the line, so you get second and third with 1 out, with 0 outs, actually. And on the replay, ball kind of looked foul, and the umpire at third base looked really confident that it was a fair ball, but the replay kind of made it look like it was foul. I didn't see it touch the line whatsoever. Did it go over the base? I have no idea because the replay did not show us that, and that is one of those situations where you can't challenge that for some reason. So it's second and third. Ranger Suarez gets Profar to fly out the shallow right field. No run scores there. In comes Sir Anthony Dominguez. Gets a productive out. 2 outs there. Jorge Alfaro grounds out, makes it 6-2, but still you get the second out of the inning. And then you get a huge strikeout on Eric Hosmer, which was a battle up in a bat. Just a nasty, nasty pitches from Sir Anthony Dominguez, pumping 99, 100 miles an hour on the gun. Really nice to see. Very nice to see. Then you go bottom 9. Brad Hand comes out, not for a save situation, but just basically to close the ball game. He does. 1, 2, 3. Kim grounds out. Asokar flies out. I hope that's how you pronounce the name. And then Abrams grounds out. So overall, great game by this Philadelphia Phillies team. Great game. Go to the lineup. Kyle Schwarber, fantastic day at the plate. He goes 2 for 4 in this game. And honestly, since being put back in the leadoff spot, Kyle Schwarber has been a lot better. Well, honestly, it's just the month of June, Kyle Schwarber. That's basically what it is. The month of June is just a different animal for Kyle Schwarber for some reason. I have no idea why, but it's a very fun time to watch Kyle Schwarber right now. It really is. It really, really is. Like I said, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Average is now at 218. Rhys Hoskins, a quiet day. He goes over 3 with a walk. Bryce Harper goes 1 for 4. Nick Castellanos goes 1 for 4. And JT goes 1 for 4 with the 3-run shot. So make that 3 RBIs for him. Didi Gregorius goes 1 for 4. Odubel Herrera goes 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Alec Bowman, quiet day at the plate. He goes 0 for 4. And Bryson Stott goes 1 for 3, where he started that rally in the top of the 6th inning. Runners in scoring position. The Phillies were actually perfect in this game. Perfect with runners in scoring position. 3 for 3. Odubel Herrera with the RBI single. Kyle Schwarber with the 2-run shot with Bryson Stott on second base. And then you get JT Realmuto's 3-run bomb. That was really basically the only chances the Phillies had in this ball game. And they cashed in on every single opportunity. So that's going to let you feel really good in the clubhouse there. Hopefully it does. Because, the past couple of games where this Phillies team has really struggled to hit with runners in scoring position, the really few opportunities that you got in this game, and they all came in like a span of 2 innings. You got all of them. So that's really, really good. Really, really, really good. Go to the rest of the bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez, dominant. Gets the final 2 outs of the 8th inning. 1 strikeout on 9 pitches. Brad Hand, solid job in the 9, 14 pitches, and gets the job done there. Overall, like I said, a very solid game by this Phillies team. You like to see that going into a very tough series against a very tough opponent. I think it also does help when you don't have Manny Machado in the lineup with his injury. You don't have Fernando Tatis in the lineup either. And for some reason, Jake Cronenworth was not playing in this game either. I guess it was the lefty-lefty situation, but still having their 3 better players in the lineup out, that's kind of huge. Definitely kind of huge for this team. And who knows what happens with Manny Machado the rest of the series with his ankle sprain. Is he going to get kept out of the lineup for the entire series? We'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how this series plays out, but that's still a very huge thing for this Phillies team. But still, you never want to see a player with the season he's having going down with an injury, but still for the Phillies, it is huge because it does weaken the Padres. But still, their pitching is no joke. But they got the Joe Musgrove today. They handed him his first loss since last season. So that's really good. His ERA was like below 2 coming into this, and now it's above 2. You like to see it. You definitely like to see it a lot. So looking at the rest of this series against the San Diego Padres, you got 3 more left, and you're going to have a interesting pitching matchup tomorrow. Aaron Nola going up against Mackenzie Gore tomorrow, same time as today. And then Saturday, still with a question mark with Zack Eflin on the mound. They were talking about it earlier today, saying that he's going through the motions right now, and if he feels good for Saturday's start, he's not going to be pitching with a limit. So we're just going to basically have to play it by ear and see what happens. And then you're going to have Kyle Gibson going on the mound against Yu Darvish on Sunday afternoon. Still, like I said, coming into the series, I'm asking for a split. I would take a split, but taking the first game in this series is really good. It's a really good thing to see right here, and you have a good chance to get yourself another win with Aaron Nola on the bump tomorrow. He had a fantastic start in Washington, his last outing. Let's see if he can continue what he has been doing this entire season. So let's see. Let's see. Aaron Nola on the bump. Let's see what he can do going up against a very young, talented pitcher in Mackenzie Gore. Let's see what this offense can do against the lefty. Let's see what Aaron Nola can do against this Padres lineup. Let's see if the Phillies can get another win in this series to take 2 out of the first 4. Be very nice to see. It'll definitely be very nice to see, especially with the tough schedule coming up. These last 3 games against San Diego, 3 games against Atlanta, 3 games against St. Louis. Well, actually 7 games against St. Louis in basically like a week and a half span. So the schedule is going to get tougher a little bit coming up before it gets easier again. So wins like this against good teams, keep it rolling. Find a way to keep it rolling. This was a very good win by this Phillies team. Mr. W in the chat, huge team win tonight. Foul by a foot. It's so dumb you can't challenge a possible game-changing call. Yeah, that was probably foul. The camera angle made it look weird, but I would assume that was a foul ball. I just don't understand how you don't call that foul. So, thankfully, it didn't affect the game. It did allow a run to score, but overall, the Phillies still won the ball game, so that's all that matters in the end. Mr. 89, 1 game down, 3 to go. Let's build off of this W. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Definitely agree with that. Definitely. Phillies After Dark, though. Thankfully, they're not doing this in, like, when they go on. Like, I do enjoy West Coast games. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it does make it more difficult with the recaps because I like doing recaps like directly after the games. Like, thankfully, they're not like going out on the West Coast in like a huge stretch, like where they're playing like Los Angeles and San Diego or in San Francisco all in a 3, series stretch. Thank God they're not doing that. I know they did technically to Seattle and Los Angeles, and I know they're most likely going to be eventually going to, Arizona and San Francisco eventually later on in the season. So that's eventually going to happen. But thankfully, they're doing this in spurts and not all in one goddamn stretch to where it's not consistently Phillies After Dark. I love late night baseball, but kind of makes it more difficult with the recaps to where I'm doing recaps at basically 12:30, between 12:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Basically, all I'm saying is please don't do what you had in the extra inning games against Los Angeles, where the games went until 2 in the morning. I just brought that up, Mr. W. I remember watching those Dodgers games at like 2 a.m. It was much worth it, though. That game was a whole stress and a half, where you could have won in the 9th inning. You blow it, you take the lead, you blow it again, take the lead again, and then you somehow get the save when it's like 2 in the goddamn morning. We're like, please, let's just go to sleep. That was a doozy. It felt like years ago when that happened, but that was like only May or something like that. Yeah, it's felt like a long time ago, but honestly, it wasn't. It honestly was not. Was that in May? Was that in May? Or was that in April? I honestly don't remember. I honestly don't. But still, overall, a really good win by this Phillies team, and I think I'm going to call it right now because I don't want to go any later than I need to because it is already 1:45, almost 1 in the morning. So thank you everyone for joining this recap in the live feed as always. If you tune into this late or tune into this tomorrow morning or something like that, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description below, the Painted Lines, BrodesMedia, everything like that. I also recommend hitting that subscribe button and also using the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK, everyone. And I will see you next time.